I'll bet you do too, whether you think you're smart or dumb. Okay? In either event, obviously, Donald Trump doesn't know the first thing about what taxes are and what they do. Period. The guy's incompetent. Okay? You can get rich and be stupid. I know a lot of stupid rich people. Okay? Rich and smarts don't necessarily fit together. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's like anything else. You can be rich and bad, you can be rich and good. You can be rich and stupid, you can be rich and smart. You can be rich and sick, you can be rich and well. Okay, it's like it's all over the map. Money, having money, doesn't say anything about you. Okay? It can't. It's a thing. It's the same idea. So what this plan says about Donald Trump is he doesn't have the first clue about what taxes are for. They do stimulate the economy. It's a question of which way. Given to the government and the government does it, or given to you and you do it. Republicans, generally speaking, do not trust the government to spend the money well, so they want taxes cut. It never solves this problem, and it never solves this problem. All taxes are designed to hit the middle class the hardest. That is the policy of the United States for the past 200 years. The tax system, when it was first decided and designed, was designed to hit the middle class the most because the middle class is the biggest portion. Okay? You have very few at the top who are rich, and frankly, you have very few at the bottom who are poor. The middle class is the most numerous. So where's the money going to come from if you tax? It's got to come from the middle class because the poor are too poor to pay the tax. You see the point? So he can't solve the problem with any tax plan because every tax plan is designed around the middle class the most. You got that? All right, now let's look. Tax relief for middle class Americans. Doesn't say what it is, he's just waving the flag there. Okay? Simplify the tax code to reduce headaches Americans faces in tax. This is the same stupidity that Ted Cruz uses. Okay? He doesn't do his own taxes, so he doesn't understand. The taxes he pays are lower because the tax code is not simplified. When they say simplify the tax code, what they mean is remove your ability to deduct. Like if you're a human being, an individual income earner, you get certain deductions off your taxes, like for your mortgage interest, like for your medical expenses, like for certain educational expenses. And every single year, the Congress changes the rules a little bit, and you have to find out from your tax guy, okay, what can I deduct to lower my income taxes? If you simplify the tax code, you will not be able to lower your income taxes. So simplifying the tax code is not helpful to the middle class. It's not helpful to the upper class, and it's not helpful to the lower class. Lower class don't have much to deduct, but there are some deductions that they get. So the headaches Americans face in preparing their taxes. What? You know how much it costs to prepare your taxes? You could do it yourself if you did your homework, because the tax forms we got are real easy to fill out. Okay, all you have to do is just pay attention to the wording. The IRS has done a really good job of making the tax forms easy to understand. It's not like it was 10 years ago. So the last thing you want is for a simplified tax code, because that will raise your taxes. The same problem that Ted Cruz has. He doesn't understand tax code either. So both Donald Trump and Ted Cruz are stupid people. Okay, they don't do their own taxes, so they don't know how the structure works. Okay, they don't even consult the people who do taxes, because the people who do taxes will tell you what I'm telling you right now. I do taxes for a living. Okay, and I would very much, in fact, that within a year or two, I'm going to be retiring. I would very much not like to have this job. You simplify the tax code, you say, wow, Brainot, then you won't have a job. Fine. God will hire me to do something else. I got other skills. I hate my job. But I've been doing it for 30 years and people depend on me, so I got to keep doing it. Okay, this is dumb. And you know what? 40 years ago, they were saying the same thing. I was on Capitol Hill 40 years ago. They were, well, not 40, 35. I was like 20, no, maybe 40, 22. Okay, I was on Capitol Hill 40 years ago. The same stuff that you're looking at on screen now were issues then. So guess what? All of this statement that he's making is stereotyped. It's been said every year since, let's see, I'm 62 now. I was 22 then when I was on Capitol Hill. I wasn't a legislative aide or I didn't have a public office or anything. I was just working with people who did. See? These were issues then. Okay, now watch. Item number 3. Grow the American economy by discouraging corporate inversions. Do you know how sophisticated a concept that is? Okay? First of all, there aren't very many corporate... I don't know how to put this. This is the same thing Cruz was talking about. So he and Cruz are saying the same thing. And corporate inversion is basically a way of... It's hard to explain. Making money and avoiding taxes by sort of flipping who is the taxed entity. Okay? There aren't very many corporations practicing that because there's a lot of ins and outs and it's heavily regulated. So when it says here, grow the American economy by discouraging corporate inversions. First of all, how much growth are you going to have when it's like 1% or 2% of the economy is even subject to this? How much growth is that going to create? Well, be optimistic to say 1 or 2%. Adding a huge number of new jobs. Huge number by what standard? Couple of hundred, couple of thousand? It's just not going to help. This is a small item, small line item. Shouldn't even be mentioned. Okay, and then say doesn't add instead of don't add. Don't add to our debt and deficit, which are already too large. There's no way they can do that. This is totally impossible. Item number 4. Absolutely impossible. You know why? 50% of our debt is sourced in Social Security, which we can't change. We've been trying for 40 years. I talked about that before in the Dump Cruise video. I was on Capitol Hill again 40 years ago. They were trying to simplify and change and get Social Security to be funded 40 years ago. Guess what? In 40 years, this hasn't happened. It's not going to happen now. The other main component of the 50% of our actual, what do you want to call it, total budget is the military. And there's obviously no way we can give that up because we're under attack. Basically, the strategy we have as the United States is that we're going to go bring the war to them. That's what George Bush stated, W. We're going to bring the war to them. Okay, well, then we have to have an updated military. And at the time he said that, we didn't have an updated military. Okay? That was the problem. Okay? The Clintons had pretty much wrecked our military. So, you know, to sit here and say, don't add to our debt, there's no way we can't add to the debt. Because it's already there. Because the interest alone, we can't pay. The interest on our debt is so high we can't pay it. We have to keep issuing bonds. Well, that adds to the principal amount of the debt. So item number 4 means that Trump has zero idea. He's just saying what you want to hear. The items number 1, 2, 3, and 4, hopefully I've just explained and you can think over. Wow, this guy's talking out of his nose. It's not even possible what he's saying to be true. But we're going to go on. The Trump tax plan achieves these goals. No, it doesn't. It achieves nothing. Okay, now watch. If you are single and earn less than $25,000, or married and jointly earn less than $50,000, you will not owe any income tax. In Cruz's plan, the threshold amount is $36,000. Ooh. Now, honey, it's already nearly like that now, 25 and 50. Okay, and after deductions and everything, it's already like that now. I mean, it's not exactly that, but you got so many deductions you can use that you can actually achieve the same result now under current tax law. So how is Trump's plan really all that better? Cruz's plan would set the limit at 36, but he wants to remove all deductions so that you end up paying more tax. Since this guy, Trump, is talking about simplifying the tax code also, if he removes the deductions, then you can actually be paying more tax once you get over the 25,000 versus what you pay now. Okay? Just like Cruz, Trump would say, "Oh, I get a one-page form to IRS and blah blah blah." This is a big lie. One-page form, I win. Really? If it's a one-page form, honey, first of all, you can pretty much do that now on the 1040 if you get the 1040 EZ. And the second thing is that it's not a savings of $1,000 each. If you're taking out all the deductions, think about the number of deductions that you can get right now. Your mortgage interest, educational expenses, health care. That's thousands and thousands of dollars in deductions that he would remove. So how are you saving $1,000 each? How come you're not paying at least $1,000 more? Okay? So whoever's coming up with this, what this tells me is that not only is Trump himself uninformed and totally unrealistic, and this is like what he's saying here is supposed to be realized by this tax plan. He doesn't know what this is saying. Somebody invented it and he's not even watching. He's not even paying attention. And so that means if you elected Trump, you would be relying on his advisors, and his advisors are patently incompetent. Okay, just patent on that level alone. Now, take a look at what follows. I'll roll this up a minute. I need to get some more soup. I made a soup out of canned pumpkin and curry spice. It's really good. Wait a minute. If you want to know the soup recipe, it's 1